What happened with that guy that supposedly was atheist, he killed the Muslims. People need to understand it doesn't matter whether religious or non-religious. Everybody's different, and nobody should kill people, you know. Um, Nobody should do violence. Um, you know, the history has been that, the thing was with the atheism, people didn't kill in the name of atheism back then. It was the ideals, communism, fascism, the different ideals. All atheism means is belief in no God. But people can get warped in their mind, and that's why there's so many mysteries we have to understand for the brain. Why people do evil things, why people born evil, why people become evil. Um, for me, that being atheist is belief in no God is free of religion, and to be, the best, nicest, best person you can be, and to get rid of the violence. There's so many violence over religion to this time we're living in, from ISIS, from the Crusades, and of course, the violence with no religion is because of ideals, communism, fascism, that these, Pol Pot, Stalin, who were atheists, but it has nothing to do with. It was with they wanted to control the government. They were dictators, They wanted to control the government in a harmful way, with violence. Um, and that's if we, had a secular world today, we wouldn't have that because we live in a different time. Back then, things were crazy with the government and the Soviet Union and the world wars. I mean, we're having we had wars with the Middle East, but it's nothing compared to like that back then. So you can't people when people need to wake up and understand that the violence has nothing to do with religious and non-religious. It's the person, the individual, that causes the problem. And until people realize that, and stop being prejudiced and stereotyping atheists, needed to read and understand that the violence that was non-believers back then had nothing to do with atheism. It had to do with their ideals to harm people and control people in a brutal dictator fashion. So all atheism means is no belief in gods and no belief in religion. And I think freedom of religion is the best thing ever. And I could say without question there is no God, because if there was a God, truly divine, you would have in your very knowledge, divine knowledge. You wouldn't have to be taught. There was a truly God, the whole universe, this one God that everybody believed in, you would have knowledge of it when you were born. Plain and simple, divine knowledge. There would be no book, because the book was created by man, and the Bible is flawed. You have divine knowledge as soon as you came out of your mom's stomach. Boom. Revelation, whatever you want to call it. God. That's why there is no God. And it's so flawed. And the people that deny that of fear, they're lying to themselves, because they're scared of hell. I've seen the debates with Dan Barker and Matt Slick, and even though Matt Slick denied, his fear, but Dan Barker explained, and when Matt Slick denied the fear, he said, "I'm terrified of hell." He just contradicted himself. The whole religion is based on fear. So, and the whole Bible is flawed. too many contradictions. You know, you have one passage says God's all powerful, God's not all powerful. There's just too many contradictions. This book is not divine. You have to be honest. We don't know everything in the universe, but we're getting closer to know. And the bottom line is, if there's a God, it would have come down. The rapture would have been here. You know, Jesus, you know, saying coming back all these years, never came back. No God ever coming down. There's no miracles to this day. No changing the sea, no turning the snakes. God's not ever coming back. And if God's never coming back, these are just stories, saying that people spoke to God and all this stuff is just stories. It's not real. Because if God existed, he can come down anytime. And then, you know, God killed like millions and Satan only killed 10. So I think people are going to be still prejudice and discrimination and stereotype atheist unless it is on the news. It says, we explain the universe. That was on the news. Or until we get to probably 2038 where the society is so advanced that religion would be absolutely unnecessary, not even needed to live because it would be so advanced. But people need to wake up and understand now, you know, stop prejudice and discrimination and stereotype and atheism. Because all atheism means is not a religion. All it means is no belief in God. Or, I mean, gods. No belief in any God. Or gods. And think about it. If atheism was related to murder, wouldn't everybody be murdering in the name of atheism? Exactly. It's one person. And whether it was a hate crime or either one thing, the guy was, or two things. It was a hate crime. The guy hated a group, or the guy was mentally unstable. Because that's what it boils down to. Because all atheism means is belief in no gods. Doesn't have hate. Because if you don't believe in God, how can you hate a God? Right? Or gods. So, it's just a person, so you can't blame somebody's murder on whether religious or non-religious. The person's messed up in the brain. But sometimes on the person is messed up in the brain. And seems like there's been so many killing going on from, what was that guy, that kid that killed all the people in the college because you can find a girlfriend. And then, you know, ISIS killings and, you know, the Charlie Hebdo attacks. You know, I mean, you know, I know you can't blame all, you know, violence on religion, but what's going on in society is based on religion. This ISIS, and there's a lot of bad. We really need to get rid of the religion, and then hopefully one day, or in years, we'll find out about consciousness, find out about the brain, we'll find out why people become evil, why people born evil, why people are just evil. It seems like there's three things with this evil. They're kind of born evil, just have a mean hatred. You know, there's just some people that just kind of born evil. I think it has to do with genetics, because somewhere down the line, if somebody in the family was evil, that kind of, I don't know what you call it, coding, DNA passes on to the offspring, and that, I guess that's what makes them evil. So you have that, and then you have the evil that just, so you have like people born evil, then you have people that are good, but then they just turn evil. And then you have people that are just, born evil, they turn evil, or they're just always was evil. And I think years to come we will understand why this is in people's brain. I mean, we find people's brain, people zap the nerve and they made the one nerve, and it's a study, and the person became unconscious. They did it again, and the person came back to consciousness. It's such a mystery, and it's too bad there's no God to explain all this stuff. We're on our own, like Ernst Ross says, you can prove that the God of the Bible is totally false, with evolution, and not only that, the contradictions, and even it said, even if the God existed, that Bible is still false, So, but then obviously, there is no God. I think what happened was, since our universe is fine-tuned, we live in a multitude of other universes that are fine-tuned, and then from that we will find probably intelligent species just like us, and it's probably rare, but they're probably out there, and we just happen to land on this universe. There's other universes that are fine-tuned, which is the multiverse. We could land on there. So yeah, the media needs to stop prejudice, discrimination, stereotyping atheism, and get their head out of their ass and do research on atheism, and stop hurting atheism just because of their beliefs to defend. Because if you really understand and read these people that killed, it's like that were atheists, had nothing to do with atheism, it had to do with their ideals and to hurt society, dictator. And once people understand this, the world would be better. So, like I said, all these murders, whether religious, non-religious, as a person is mentally problematic. The media needs to wake up. And I think we have to wait 2038 to people appreciate and understand atheists, because people just don't understand. Hopefully many more years. Maybe I'll wait till 2038. And then, so yeah, I'm against all violence, really, I just want a world of peace, love, and happiness. I mean, not like the 60s, but I mean, seriously, peace, love, and happiness. I mean, Bill Clinton actually said, if we're visited by aliens, and actually, I think I can agree with this. We could try truly find love, real love. You know what I mean? Maybe they can help us. They can help us some way. And if there's multiple species out there, good aliens, bad aliens, they know a lot that we don't know about existence, universe, life. They can help us, and we could find love, real love. I don't mean like love like girlfriend love. I mean like love of no violence, like what's going on